we're back with more Dread Delusion. So, I believe we're about to finish the game. Well, I suspect we're about to finish the game. The way we are going to, we don't have the Embryon Order repair our Embryon helmets. But we do have upgrade the Arcanist hacks. And we'll also upgrade the Wizard's robes, because why the fuck? Yeah. Okay, so with that done, we get to go and talk to the High Confessor again. Was it straight to the Frost? I can't remember. So it seems as though you've secured all the necessary components, Confessor. Basalt informs me that the cutter is ready. This will be your final mission, for after this I will declare your penance fulfilled. You'll be free to roam the Sky Realms once more. But I wanted to offer you a place here, in this tribunal, if you wish to. Just serve the Inquisition alongside me. We have been going around killing all the gods, with the exception of one, so I think we will join the Inquisition. Thank you, I'm glad you joined the Inquisition. That is good to hear, Confessor. You will make an exceptional agent. It don't say. I mean, we've been going around doing it the entire time through the game, but whatever. But back to the task at hand. You will assemble your strike team for this final assignment. You will approach the cradle in the cutter and fight your way through Vela's defenses. We've seen no sign of aberrant behavior from the cradle, so we can only assume that Vela has not yet awakened the creature within. You must kill her before she can do any harm. Kill her, why not capture? You did not sail with her back in those days. You did not love her as I did. You were not betrayed by her and left to die. If left to enact her plans, Vela will be the death of us all. That woman deserves nothing better than death. Okay. Just get the cutter docked with the cradle, and the rest of your team will begin the assault. Expect fierce resistance, sacrifices may be necessary. We may not all meet again. But know this, I have come to respect you, Confessor. I trust that when it comes to it, you will do the right thing. Paxton Frost! All-Aith looks agitated, shifting in her armor. You know I've faced up to impossible odds before, always bested them, so why do I feel so God's damn nervous? She looks at her hand, it's trembling slightly, she clenches into a fist. I guess I've always looked up to Vela. She saved me more times than I can count. So even though I know this is the right thing to do, my stomach's still churning. Listen, Confessor, when we met, you told me we'd stop Vela without bloodshed. I think we can safely say that we tried and failed in that regard, eh? So this time, I ain't asking questions. I'm letting my sword do the talking. You'd better be okay with that. You're right. This time talker's over. Do your worst. Do I hear a lust for revenge in your tone, Confessor? She did skewer you pretty good back there. You know, I've never felt like I've belonged anywhere. Being born from a glass tube will do that to you. Even those first few years with Vela, when we thought we were really making a difference. It was still Vela's dream we were chasing, you know? But now I think I finally know what my purpose is, to stop the evils of my ancestors from ever being repeated. She twists at the corner of her mouth, or die trying. For better or for worse, that's thanks to you, Confessor, so I suppose I just want to say thank you. Pleasure. Sorry about that. Interruptions. What does correctly talk to? He's moved. He's moved to. Okay. We'll talk to her then. Since we saw it, I've been thinking of that angel. I've long read of such ominous entities, drifting in the void, beyond reality, but until now they were entirely theoretical.
but seeing such a creature in the flesh, I could feel its incongruity, its vast contradiction. Like a thought in my brain, with something so alien to this world, maybe Vela really can bend reality to her will.
The Duchess paced idly with her void dagger, watching it glide through the air.
Oh, Confessor, my apologies, I was lost in thought. It's that angel. I've long read of such entities drifting in the void beyond reality. But until now, they were entirely theoretical. For all the complexities of our cipher art, we have only the smallest understanding of the void. Confessor, you told me that Vela must be stopped, and that us endless must learn to accept our fate. But I've been thinking of this a great deal these past few days. My people's burden is ours to bear, and though we lament our torment, I believe some good, no matter how slight, can be gleaned from the worst of tragedies. Vela's idea of heaven might benefit my people, but I have no doubt it would wreak great havoc and disruption upon everyone else. For this reason, I'll help you to stop Vela, no matter the cost. You are still going to try and stop her, correct?
A so-called heaven is too chaotic an idea. She must be stopped.
I thought as much. It will be a risky fight, but I'll do my best to aid you. When we reach the cradle, I'll keep Vela's main force distracted with Cypher Shield. That should give you time to find an alternate entrance. But no matter what, this will be a perilous mission. I've spoken to Kat and arranged for my daughter's hand to be delivered home if I am to meet a similar fate to hers.
Ross is sipping from a teacup, which he raises in salute as you approach. Ah, Confessor, good of you to join us. So, here we are at last. The interval is nearly over, the curtains soon to open. Everything is in place for the final act. Let us hope I can remember my lines. How are you feeling? Oh, naturally I'm scared shirtless. But this is the confrontation I've been running from all along. This is what I became Horus to escape. Yet I am finding that the fear is less biting than before. It feels calming, somehow. To last be walking towards my troubles with a firm resolve. Funny how long we resist the simplest lessons. Confessor, do you remember our first meeting? Lately I found myself returning to it, over my brain. At the time, you persuaded me that we should destroy the angel, lest it obliterate the world. It felt so liberating to agree with you, to finally shrug off the burden of my dreams, to let go of all those years I sacrificed for my husband's impossible promise. Howland's impossible promise. But I've come to the conclusion that both of us were wrong. It's all Horus's fault, I'm afraid. His visions were so good because he still had hope. Hope that every person could be redeemed, that love really was more powerful than despair. When you reawakened my old self, that hope didn't die, it stayed with me, infectious, all mixed up together with everything I've seen and done. Everything the Clockwork Kingdom ever tried was mere child's play compared to the angel. That is it, the real deal, and now that we're on the precipice, I find I cannot turn my back. You see, I had to believe that Horus wasn't wrong to hope. I mean that literally. I have no choice but to believe. I'll see, Frost, I won't let you activate the angel. Frost gazes at you for a while, then nods, his expression surprisingly peaceful. Very well. If this final act should cast us as foes, let us play our parts with gusto. I'm going to flipping regret this all, aren't I? There he is. Well, this is it. One last daring push into Vela's maelstrom, eh? Only this time, I fear, there'll be no second chances. He shoots you a serious look. Doesn't matter how many times that god of yours can pull you back from the dead. If Vela activates that abomination, it's all over. Unless we can stop her, Vela will either rule the world or end it. Damn that girl for bringing it to this. She could have done great things, you know. Her name could have gone down in history as a savior, not a tyrant. But anyway, the cutter is ready to depart. You might want to check with the rest of the crew to see how they're holding up first, but otherwise, use the controls when you're ready. Just make sure you're really ready, eh? Assaulting that cradle is no easy task. This might just be the last thing we ever do. What's the plan once you reach the cradle? The place is a fortress, too risky for a head-on assault, but if the Duchess could distract Villa's entourage with her magic, the rest of you might stand a chance. Might have a chance. Frost thinks he's spotted a back door, some sort of utility pipe that could be cracked open, giving you and Orlaith the way inside. Then Orlaith will head straight for Vela and try to keep her busy. It's you, find that angel at all costs. Then, if all goes to plan, we'll meet up in the cradle's center, and we can boot that angel back to the void. Piece of cake, eh? Okay. Need some water. So, that done. Control panel. And away it goes. Ah, and we've landed. There's no sort of cutscene penetrating the shield or anything? No. Right. Well, despite it all, that went pretty smooth, eh? Damn sight better than the last landing, at least. So I know we're here. Yeah, we've been through that already. Cool.
Once more I've erected my transpositional supply tent. By all means, use it to stock up, but don't tarry. We must strike quickly now that we're here. Bella's lackeys will come at us in full force, but I'll try to keep them at bay as long as I can. Once we set off, you must find Frost and help him make his entrance. We're aboard the most abhorrent vessel ever constructed, surrounded by the Union Navy, on our way to face Vela Kalus and her captive Eldritch Horror. Careful, Confessor. Anything more dangerous and I might start having fun.
Frost is in full flow, seemingly possessed by the ghost of his piratical past. Onward, ladies! No dawdling, no dallying, and no fannying about. Last one to reach the creation pipe owes us all a full Lunderly's breakfast. He glances at you, baring his teeth in a fierce grin. Showtime, Confessor! Break a leg! And a respawn point. Ow. You didn't let me attack for some reason. Very rude. That is just Achilles' strain to maintain her powerful cipher soul.
Don't worry about me, Confessor. I've faced worse odds than this. Just find Frost and get inside this thing.
What's taking Frost so long? We need to get this thing open or it's all over. Frost is once again fiddling with his handheld door breaking device, but this time he's visibly under stress. Confessor, you've arrived in the nick of time. Confound these obstinate inbrains. I'm attempting to halt the accretion turbine to afford our ingress. To afford our ingress, but it appears that there is a failsafe switch somewhere nearby, most likely on the platform beneath here. There's an elevator down nearby. Find that switch, shut it off, and you shall have your door. Quickly now, Confessor. Let's not miss our cue. I do appreciate that we have bespoke music for this part. Pretty big map. Brutally honest. I'm gonna assume that's the lift back up to where we started. Guess we needed a breather. At this tower. Huh? At this tower. Use the failsafe switch, you disable the turbine or the accretion pipe, which should grant you access to the cradle's main structure. You should take the elevator back to the main level to access the pipe. Renewal, which would have been really useful. It's fine. But it was worth going over there at least. These guys are not aggro before. This sort of guys thing. Okay. Assault continues. Oh no. Frost's body lies mangled within the twisting wreckage of his clockwork armor, his fine clothes sodden with blood. Wait a second. Things down around me. Fuck. Hang in there, Frost, I'll get you back to the cutter. Frost tries to sit up as he cries out with his rising vehemence. No! A coughing fit overwhelms him. No, don't stop for me. You must reach Valor before it's too late. It's not a bad finish for old Caxton Frost. A final stand, a heroic downfall. Not a dry eye in the house. Dramatic to the last. But the curtain's not fallen yet, eh, darling? If you can, build something better out of all these ashes, then that it won't have been all for nothing. He reaches up and grips your hand tightly. Please, Confessor, activate the angel. Make all this worth a damn. He releases your hand and slumps back, his strength failing. Oh, and please tell Sam that I'm sorry. I really did want to come back to him. I'll tell him, I promise. Frost's eyes are screwed tightly shut, and he no longer seems to hear anything you say. The angel, please, you have to. Sam. So we've done a stock model for him bleeding to death, but we haven't closed his eyes. Okay. It's a shame, he's by far the way one of the most character. Oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna put another one to Mike, because why the hell not? It's a 50-50. For fuck's sake. I mean, seriously. Sits in the cradle at the peaking moon, blinks that eat every day at noon. Okay, so we are here. What is this place? Why does it feel like I'm running on a conveyor belt? I assume that going down is the way in through another route, or is how we get out of this particular channel. So it appears to be a checkpoint. The description? A bunch of beds. Let's save 4 points. I'm not gonna try to. Yeah, I think we're just gonna push through to the end. Okay, cool. So it's not where we're going. So let's try going this way and see what's up. Oh right, this is where the Duchess is fighting. Cool. So that was just the main door in. Where's this taking us then? All the ore in the world. There's a sort of concept in game design, right, where you want to think things out, right, so that you know, you have risk versus reward, right? So number of enemies to get to a particular reward, right? We've had a sort of section where we've had 2 random dudes up on a ledge for 3 gold and 3 gold and a 3 gold and a throwing knife. You know, is that really worth their lives to defend that? I should answer no. Really not. Large auditorium. The game wants me to level up or something. You're not going to get there yet. No, sorry, Bob. What do you want? Cradle network breached, security protocols overwritten, controller mechanical humanoids severed, further containment compromised by prime specimen code Angel, entities attempting to replicate, access to cradle womb sealed and threat nullified, additional information restricted to Class A citizens and above. Hack time! Wilson's have been dead for hundreds of years, so you want to stop this angel spawn, I'm the only chance. Analyzing Class A population count 0, Class B population count 0, Class C population count 0. Analyzing threat level critical without containment and prime specimen replication will trigger disaster event tier 0. Destruction of reality. Additional information request granted. Prime specimen code Angel is attempting to replicate. The resulting subspecimen code designation Angel Spawn is located in Power Relay Chamber. Subspecimen code Angel Spawn is capable of distorting reality. Designated Class A threat. User force not advised. Conclusion. Overloading the Power Relay Chamber may result in subspecimen's destruction without unnecessary conflict. Because should look for 4 override terminals. Highly technical skill required. Ceasing communication. And we've got 2 thus far. We're gonna kill this guy, it's easier. I'm really like getting any real opportunity cost for using the great sword versus the sword. Like, I think it's just genuinely a better weapon. Having gained access to the Cradle's main structure, you have managed to defeat a replicated spawn of the Angel by overriding the power relay system. Nothing now stands from Moon Valor. Been cool to be able to see it, but no. Come in from. Beep. No, it wasn't. Wait. Alright, suck my head and then turn around. This is where we were resting. I'm just gonna quickly rest and relax. Prepare for the end. The end! I fear that I've been turned around. Just a little bit. Yeah, that's where we came in from. So the rest and relaxation room, right? Which means that... I forgot. Things are fucking awful. Up here it's daytime, so we can now see better. The other reason for wanting to sleep. When we did. Okay, so this is the power. Have you got an update for me? No, that's done. Needed 90. Can't even get to 90, can we? We get we cap at like 85. Yeah, okay. It's fine. I mean, not a lot of damage. Whoop. At me. Watch him. Oozy cradle. None of our friends are joining us. They're always. This looks vaguely familiar. We've been here before. Ella cradles Orliath in her hands, in her arms, as her body shakes with silent sobs, tears flowing down her cheeks. She looks up at you with red eyes, all too human after all. It's you. Funny. I wouldn't have thought a sword through the heart would have proven. So, I would have thought a sword through the heart would have proven more of a setback. Out for a friend of yours. I should have known you'd find that one. Quite the boon. You don't know what they're missing. I didn't want to kill her, you know. She gave me full force. I only meant to disarm. Ella closed her eyes, overwhelmed by deep exhaustion. That's what I always say, isn't it? I didn't want to. They made me do it. I had no choice. You were right, I think, about me and Isabet. I wasn't chasing this dream for anyone but myself. That mute, stunned little girl standing in the ashes of her home. Do you have any idea how long never is? Never to see her again, never to hear her stupid little laugh. Never. Truly, I didn't know if anyone ever comes to terms with that. So I sailed around pretending to be a savior, losing my anger on whoever would play the villain. When I found that map, gods, it was like a fucking djinn granted my wish, like a message from the universe saying maybe she died so you could do this. Because really, who could dispute that logic? What price would outweigh saving everyone, forever? Even Jack knew better than to gamble on credit. The more principles I twisted, the more blood I spilled, the more friends I led to their deaths, the more my debt grew, and the more the angel seemed like the only solution. I'll meet your gaze again, eyes welling up, voice cracking with the desperate abandon of confession. But I can't be the only one to make this choice, not anymore. I am so deep in blood that I can't even see the surface. She lets her head fall to Orlaith's body again. Please, go to the angel, it'll answer to you. If you wish to destroy it, I won't stop you. Prisoner of the Inquisition now, bitch. Bella says nothing as she rocks her best friend back and forth like a baby, racked every now and again with spasms of grief. Still the most terrifying sight of the game. Although again, they've gone the effort of having it. The expression on her face, the wounding, the bleeding nose. But the eyes tell it all. What's interesting is that Vela, no, I think she's just bored. What do we have here? It seems as though some wretched soul spat from a dank prison cell has somehow stumbled into the most fateful moment in living memory. The angel watches you, stranger. To its incomprehensible mind, you are little more than an insect crawling on shit. And yet here, in this plane of existence, it has no power without one such as you. It is a thing born of the void. It can think and feel only in cipher, and lacks the perspective of a mere mortal. To have agency in this place, it must merge with another. This creature defies foresight, stranger. In the threads of prophecy, this moment is an abyss through which I cannot see. For years I thought it was Vela who would stand at the precipice, but now I see that it is you. Into the roll of an eye. Many in your position would claim sole responsibility for their successes. I am glad you have the sense to see otherwise. These islands have long been the home of dreamers and fanatics. Their delusions have seeped into the fabric of the earth, waiting for one to reclaim them. The people here have hung their wishes on your shoulders, nothing more. But you should do well to remember, though, that your power, all power, is borrowed. We are naught but conduits. And now, whether by chance or skill, a chance or skill, you wield more power than any before you. The last time this angel was roused, the whole world was destroyed. You could banish it, or you could merge with it and succeed where those before you have failed. What will you do, I wonder? Could this angel cause another world rend? I would like to tell you that the Embrians 400 years ago used the angel with malice and stupidity, so as to doom the world to such a fate. But the truth is, nobody knows what happened back then, or what could happen now. Vela was certain she could merge with the angel without triggering a syntax cascade. I am not so brazen as to say either way. For someone who has spent her life predicting the future, it is somewhat of a novelty to admit I have no idea. What should I do? I have long thought that to change the rules of Cypher, to fundamentally alter the very fabric of existence, is a sin more shameful than I could imagine. I believed this in my heart when I tried to stop Vela, but her will proved stronger, and in defying her, I lost everything I ever held dear. And if I ever truly loved her, can't I also see that she was driven as much by love and beauty as anger and ambition? The truth is, I am no longer a person, just an echo of one. I have no right to interfere with the living. Do as you wish, stranger. No, whatever. Good luck, stranger, if there is such a thing. Go on, get! As you approach the angel, a pressure builds inside your skull, until it feels like your head might split in twain. Your body shivers with a nauseating energy. Somehow you know the angel is inside you. Pinch your teeth. A needle of pain gouges through your mind. Memories of your childhood, of people and places you knew, all flash before your eyes, reached forth by the will of this creature. Is it trying to understand you? What are you? More pain, but this time the memories are not your own. A sensation of limitless possibility, of incomprehensible freedom and an unending time envelops you. For just a fraction of a moment you understand what it means to be truly infinite. To stretch beyond the limits of this reality, you realize the angel is trying to share its experience with you, though much is lost in translation. Why are you here? A confusion of sensations flash through your mind. An Embrian vessel invading your life essence, somehow latching onto you, pulling you through layers of reality until you are small, oh so small, and trapped in this cage. You understand somehow that the angel is severely impaired in this world. The limits of time and space, the rules inherent in such a rigid existence, entrap the angel in this corporeal form. What was the word rend, didn't you? What you know of the word rend, scraps of history, hearsay, and pervasive cultural dread rises to the forefront of your mind. A note of confusion flows through you. The angel doesn't seem to be sure, but you understand that when it was brought here, another tried to merge with it, unsuccessfully. In that moment, a simple cry of pain from either of them could have obliterated this world, just as a human could accidentally trample on a colony of insects. So what happens now? Your body seethes with impotence and impatience. Yes, you understand, the angel can do anything on its own, not in this reality, not in this body, it is trapped here. Sorry, it can do nothing on its own, not in this reality, not in this body, it is trapped here. It must merge with another, a sentient being from this material plane, if it is to have any agency here. It would need only be a moment, and the angel could separate once more, peeling off from its new form and returning to the void. Or it could stay, and weave a new reality within this one. I need to know more before I can choose. Warmth washes over you. The angel waits for your query. What are you? Yeah. If we merge, what happens to me? You see a corpse lowered into a grave, then a baby clawing its way out of the other side of the earth, covered in blood and placenta. To merge would be to die and be born anew. when you see wine being poured into a strange serpentine vessel, and the glass breaks, the wine remains, keeping the shape. To emerge would also change the angel, endowing it with all your own quirks and values. This goes on the word end. Flowers blossom and decay all at once. Clouds boil away and fatten and burst. A moth flaps its wings and towers fall. It flaps again, and the towers have always stood proudly. Uncertainty. The angel cannot say for sure and what will come of your world. A sense of responsibility comes over you. You think this means that you must be careful. If you merge, you will be as one, and the power you wield will be terrifying. I'm ready to choose. A tingling of anticipation suffuses your body. The angel waits your decision. To banish you the void. You feel a yearning for something like home, the expanse of the infinite void. But a wave of anxiety hits you. There will be no going back from this decision. All the pity and despair, the tumult and blood, the cyclical cruelty, and the pious theft, all of it will go on, alongside whatever joy the people of the Skyrims can carve from the cooked bow of mere existence. Is that your will? Yes, you must return to the void. Your body is engulfed in a warm tingling that soon becomes a tearing, agonizing pain. Your vision distorts, then seems to blend with your other senses, like your very consciousness is dissolving into water. The angel is borrowing your mortal essence so that it may leave this reality. Your last coherent thought is a desperate hope that you made the right choice.
In a searing flash of light, the angel is torn from existence. For a moment you see it tumbling into the fractal madness of the void, just before the rip in reality snaps shut. The cradle lurches around you. Without its power source, it has begun to plummet back to the Underlands. It is only thanks to the nimble piloting of Jack Basalt that you are rescued from the wreckage. Ignoring her frantic protests, you shove Vela on the craft as well, and the three of you watch the cradle fall below the clouds. You are silent on the journey back, thinking only of Orla, the Duchess, and Caxton Frost, for whom the cradle will forever be a tomb. In the years that follow, you rise through the ranks of the Inquisition, spreading fear wherever your boots tread. Your name soon gains a fearsome reputation, whispered with trepidation and reverence across the Apostatic Union. Jack Basalt retires from mercenary work and spends the rest of his days drifting from tavern to tavern, drunkenly rambling of his bygone exploits. With time, the names of his former comrades are forgotten, and he is regarded as just another old fool. Frost never marries his lover, Samol. He remains a traitor in the eyes of his homeland. The Duchess, shredded and scattered to the winds, finds a strange new peace as a fractured witness to the secret life of the Underlands. The Emberian's armor lies, unrusting, at the base of the world, while her flesh returns to the soil. Their sacrifice is recorded on the jet-black memorial obelisk that stands in the gardens of the Citadel of Doubt in Riova. Thanks to your assistance, the Apostatic Union is able to purge the Wiccan covens from every corner of Hallowshire. The region enjoys a new era of stability and lawfulness, though despite many pleas for aid to the Union mainland, the famine drags on for several years. With your status as an Inquisition agent, you personally oversee this process, and it is your efforts that ensure the gods of this region fade into mere legend. And in neighbouring Puel, the scry shroom harvest never quite recovers, with the village falling into destitution in the coming years. Hood, however, travels the sky realms, finding awe and adventure. In the Endless Realm, your plotting ensures that the Entombed One is able to defeat the Queen of Silver and her council. The entire realm is soon torn asunder by violent magics, fueled by the agonies and resentments of its denizens. Of the few small islands that remain, a handful of endless survivors cling to a miserable existence, comforted only by the hope that their brethren have found some kind of peace. After seizing control of Halashare, the Apostatic Union closes its borders to endless refugees. Those who still manage to make the crossing are treated with scorn and derision. With your help, the Clockwork King is restored to sanity, and the amnesia of its citizens recedes. After some turmoil, Afra's reformists take charge and dismantle the old police state, presiding over a dawning optimism as people explore their new freedom to change. In the years that follow, it becomes increasingly difficult for outsiders to understand the kingdom. Monarch and subjects continually reshape each other in ever stranger feedback loops. While critics claim the populace have given up their humanity, still, the technological results and the happiness metrics speak for themselves. With Vela defeated, the chains that bound your mysterious benefactor shatter, freeing the entity at last. You never cross paths with it again. The High Confessor spends the rest of her days in an Inquisition cell, where the last of her resolve drains away. And as for Vela, you shared few words during your escape. The next day, she was gone, and none have seen or heard from her since.
And that was Dread Delusion. I think the game itself plays, if anything, more like a Metroidvania or a sort of adventure game rather than an RPG, right? The RPG is incredibly light. The main hurdles I think it has is that the enemy variety is relatively limited, and it's a very easy game, right? The story is at times quite good, but to get a little bit repetitive. And I think it was very obviously released in sort of chunks, right? Like it generally gets more, or the different parts of it, the different sort of areas feel quite distinct. And in a way which helps mix things up, but again, it does mean that it sort of, as a whole, they don't necessarily feel continuous, I guess. Yeah, that's the easiest way of putting it. I also suspect that the final chapter, the release chapters, right, have had sort of less polish, right? I think there's at least one typo in there, but I mean, that's the thing, like, regardless of how there is a lot of text in this game, and there's very little in the way of typos or anything like that, so it is quite a polished game. It's a good game. The last few sessions we've done, I've actually been the second half of the Clockwork Kingdom through to the end, I've actually been excited to play, right? Pool and its surrounding area was interesting, but I felt Hello Shire sort of did was essentially just more of the same, but with more sort of directions to go in, right? I didn't feel that the Endless Realm was particularly interesting. I mean, it's aesthetic out, but again, from there, it's like, well, it is what it is. But then again, we also blitzed through it. We did it very, very quickly, in real terms. The Clockwork Kingdom I really liked. It was visually interesting. And I feel the story was the most compelling there, or the story of that particular zone was the most compelling. Because again, you sort of, it's very much political philosophy, right? Of relationship between the populace and its leaders, and how much power should government have, etc. Say the Hellolands are sort of less sort of compelling because it is just that argument of or rather, it is basically just that: is it better to live forever or to die? Right? What is the value of death? Or yeah, and that at its core is right out of Tolkien, right? It's the difference between elves and humans is that I forget the name of the god, but their creator basically gifted humanity with the ability to die and have an afterlife, which was deprived the elves. But here you have a situation where you have people who are in listens that they can't die, and yet they wish for death, which has deprived them. And then again, you have this sort of, is it better to, and you can make the argument that each of the different segments has that same idea that, is it better to change or maintain the status quo, even with its negatives in the sight of an unknown, right? In the case of, you can make the argument that the endless slide we just got was a bad slide because everything was destroyed and there were some survivors, right? If anyone said it'd be fine, but because there's still some left, it's a problem. Whereas if we'd continued the way we were, I mean, again, they're complaining about what effectively is there's a lot of space in mausoleums and people can't afford to pretend to be dead when they want to be, right? So you have what effectively is a housing crisis, which is, it's a little deep for most people these days. Hello Shire doesn't really have much in the way of it. It is basically just, again, the surface premise of the game, basically, or the surface factions of the game of theism versus atheism. And Pool is sort of less complicated still. It's basically is human sacrifice worth benefit, right? So again, like, the game has gotten more ambitious, I think, right? In terms of its storytelling, in terms of its plot, in terms of its themes, as the game's gone on. It's a game you're playing entirely for its aesthetic and otherness relative to other game worlds, other fantasy game worlds at least. and not for difficult gameplay. Again, it's a game that you play to explore. It's a game that you play to for its story, such as it is, right? And again, if this is the first game they've made, and again, I don't know if it is, it's actually a pretty game. Again, parts of it look stunning. Not in the, it's high fidelity way, but simply the visuals you get from its art style, from its draw distance, etc., are really quite beautiful. It's also a game that I don't think I've ever played a fantasy game where it's also the other standout basically is that the day-night cycle really matters, right? And it's not just a question of day versus night. It is, all 4 sections matter for that time. So yeah, I'm glad I played it. I think if I wasn't recording it, I wouldn't have finished it. I think I would have got too bored. Then again, I would have finished it a lot quicker if I had been playing it to finish it. Simply because it's not really that long game, and it's been less than 30 hours. It's pretty good, not 30 hours, which is quite short for an RPG, at least these days. But no, I say it was, and granted, a lot of that has been like, if you were to root it out, right, so that you had no sort of think that it would be a lot quicker. But no, I say it's been a good game. Again, it feels like you can feel the development that's gone into it. If that makes sense. You look at it and go, that looks as though it's probably a demo for a thing, and they've expanded it out. But yeah, the main problem is it has a lot of systems which it's nice to have, but aren't necessarily worth investing in. What I mean by that is, you can buy houses everywhere, but the trade-off of not, and a house might cost you, once you've actually got it set up, a couple $100, right? The trade-off of not having the house, since you used to spend 20-30 gold sleeping in an inn. And so there's, there's incentive to try to get the thing, but it's best to be able to kilter, right? And there's not really any, let's say I have a house in such and such place. There's not really a massive incentive to throw money into these things. Again, you can invest in these space to get workshops, but the workshops are exactly the same thing. You're not upgrading a workshop to be able to do something else. You're just trying to access the same functionality in a different place, right? Which is not really necessary, particularly when workshop facilities are usually free, including in this in the example we have here. This is, you can go and upgrade in there for free. So yeah, as an RPG, I'd say it's not it's not what you're playing this for, right? You're playing this for its aesthetics. You're playing it for the exploration. You're playing it for the interesting world and the story. You're not playing it for an RPG experience. It's not the next Skyrim. Would I like to see a sequel? Possibly. Again, the world building is solid. They have this is part of a larger world, and if you set a canonical ending, which might be difficult to do in this game unless you've gone for the ending I've picked, although there are ways you could do it where the change wasn't instantaneous and you sort of had, so you'd gone with the angelic ending, but you know the transition was slower, right? Or you know the miasma had been removed and you were now sort of trying to reclaim the surface, right? There is a lot more you could do with this world potentially, and again, if they worked hard on itemization and you know varied enemy types and attack patterns, that sort of thing, I could be interested in playing it again, or playing a sequel. Like I say, we're already advised this is one small part of a much wider world, right? Yeah, there's definitely room within that world for other games within the IP, and this could be interesting. So yeah, I would be interested in seeing a sequel if it gets one. Yeah. Thank you for watching. It's been a long road, and this was the first play we've done. We will be uploading it at some point. This has all been recorded before being uploaded. I still haven't decided on a definitive channel name, but this will be released sort of as sort of a backup. Oh, it's sort of a staggered thing. But yes, thank you for watching. If you've picked this up and watched it through to the end, it's been a good game to start. So yes, thank you. And we'll join you next time for something else I haven't yet decided on. Catch you later. Bye-bye.